Thank you, Mr. President, dear colleagues. The title of our debate is Road to Reykjavik, and it must be clear that the Reykjavik summit cannot only be a reaction to the war in Ukraine, it must especially make sure that the Council of Europe works better. And for our group, the ECDA, it's clear that the focus must be on the core values that we stand for: human rights, democracy, and the rule of law, and they have been severely compromised lately. Where have human rights been when we talked about obligatory vaccinations? Actually, human rights are supposed to be defensive rights of citizens against their governments, not of governments against their citizens. Where is democracy really when we talk about the beating up of protesters in Macron's France? Not only the yellow vests, but also the protesters against the presidential pension reforms that were passed by the president, but never by the parliament. And what is actually the meaning of rule of law when the other two values are so compromised? Actually, in scholarly debates, scientists like Nicole Sikrolka and Stefan Auer are talking about the transformation of the rule of law to the rule of rules. And Barbara de Cour actually explains that the rule of law is becoming a tool for intervention. This is wrong. This is the wrong path. The Council of Europe is moving away from defending the citizen against the government to defending ideologies against the citizen. And case law, derived from the 1950 Convention, is supposed to replace politics. It's supposed to replace democratic debate, national decision-making. And we see that especially when we talk about very political issues that are not necessarily connected to human rights, say gender, climate, migration, vaccination, discrimination. We've heard from Mrs. Kjoldotter that environmental rights, artificial intelligence will be discussed, and member states are supposed to adhere to a set of core values that they commit to, absolutely. But then the people deciding on those core values, making judgment at the European Court of Human Rights, and unfortunately Mrs. O'Leary did not mention this, are often fraught with NGO lobbyism. There are a lot of judges, as the European Center for Law and Justice has found out, that have served for NGOs before their term here and that appear to still be serving their NGOs' interests. And that is a huge problem that we have to solve in this House and at the Reykjavik Summit. There are two roads leading from Reykjavik, I would say. There's one road that will make the Council of Europe a more ideological place, that will lead and force real democracies to move away from this institution. There can also be a road to being a more democratic place, with respect for sovereign nations, with different views, with different policy making, that unite in the pursuit of human rights, democracy, and the rule of law. The summit will decide. Thank you.